Welcome to the Buff Show on the American Adversaries Radio Network. Matt Buff, your host, glad to be with you. Now, we're in conjunction with the American Adversaries Radio Show, and like we said in the first three parts of this series, the Buff Show and the American Adversary collide into this show. So you can listen to the American Adversaries live at...
Fusion.
Yes, fusion. Just you can picture it, just beauty. You can listen to Chris and all the friends of the American Adversaries Radio Show, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday through Friday. Catch the Buff Show and my little group of misfits. Oh, you're going to love these guys. At 3 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday. So all week long. There's no more, I miss the American Adversaries.
That's right.
You get it every day.
7 days a week.
Plus
of course, you can always access our archive, too, at AmericanAdversaries.com.
Absolutely.
And
The
don't forget,
archive shows.
You can watch the Buff Show live on our Facebook page as well, American Adversaries.
Yes, indeed. So it's very hard not to see us.
Yeah. In the
Let
last...
me introduce Chris. This is Christopher Hart, my co-host, philosopher, and political mad scientist. Christopher Hart, part 4 of the 80 years is due for a change in 2020, the Generations book. Go ahead and highlight the book, and then I really want to talk about something specific that happened this week.
Okay, well, once again, the book Generations talks about an 80-year cycle of change.
Yes.
We're right now in the midst of the next one, which is they predicted in the book, The Crisis of 2020, they predicted in 1991, is beginning this next monumental, seminal change in American history. And the question is, which direction are we going to go from here, politically speaking and economically speaking? And we've been talking about how the left is moving dramatically to the left. They're preaching socialism. They're preaching what Jim Jones preached to his followers down there, where they ended up in Jonestown. And by the way, when they were in Jonestown down there, initially the media followed him. Once again, he was very popular in California until he started doing drugs and having sex with a lot of his followers, and some bad publicity got out, and he hightailed it out of town. But he still got good press, okay? So the media was very complimentary, and they would go down there and look at what wonderful things he's doing. He's got black and white people. By the way, most of his flock and most of the people who died that day were black.
That's right.
Okay, and then the white people. Take a swath of the people marching in the streets right now. That was Jim Jones' flock. Those very same people. Okay, the very same demographic makeup. Okay, so he gets them down there. The press follows him. Look at this wonderful society down here. Harmony, people living together, loving one another, interracial relationships, all the wonderful things. And yet also people back home were beginning to complain about not being able to contact their loved ones down there, their loved ones not being able to get out of down there if they wanted to. So they convinced a congressman from California, Ryan, to go down there and see what was going on. And lo and behold, he gets down there and people start slipping him notes. I want to get out of here. And Jim Jones begins to find out what's going on and realizes the gig may be up. And so he has a couple of his henchmen go and kill the congressman and some media people from NBC who went down there to see really what was going on. They were shocked when they got down there.
They set up camp down there because they wanted to be home base to, help these people. He
set up camp 30 miles from the local village.
Well, I'm talking about the congressman. They did set up. They just didn't come down there and stay in hotel. They set up a perimeter and everything.
Well, no, what they did was when they got down there, the main airport, they had to fly to a smaller airport because this was out in the middle of the jungle. And the reason Jones wanted out in the middle of the jungle was because he didn't want any of their flock to be able to get away. It was, in essence, a prison. Okay? You had to walk 30 miles through the jungle to get to the next village. Right?
Yes.
So when they get there by small airplane, they have to go by truck, basically in the back of a truck, through the jungle until they get to the camp. Okay, now they get at the camp, and all of a sudden everything is real tense. They didn't know what they were walking into. Supposedly the media had been reporting this is, idyllic society. They walk into it and there's a lot of tension.
Fake news, ladies and gentlemen.
And people start slipping them notes, I want to get out of here. And so they ended up staying overnight. And Jones and the congressman were talking, and Jones was trying to say, good things that they were doing down there. And the congressman, well, if some people want to leave, can they leave? Oh, yeah, they can leave with you. They can leave with you. But you could tell he was very upset. And then lo and behold, the next morning when they get ready to leave, the tension is even higher, and there's a lot of crying and people screaming and don't leave and all of this stuff. And then finally the group leaves to go to the airport. And then he has some of his henchmen follow with him there and start shooting them. killed the congressman, killed a photographer for NBC, shot people as they were laying on the ground to make sure they were dead. A woman
Double tap.
reporter was shot several times as she lay on the ground acting like she was dead. She managed to survive. Another one as well was shot in each side, but managed to live. And this was all based on his belief that socialism is the way.
A utopian
and this is the
society.
important about this. Matter of fact, you've got some instances which show what's going on in the streets of America right now is Jonestown.
It's very scary. And on the Saturday show, we're going to play some of these clips for you. But there's a bunch of shirts circulating in these protests right now for white people to wear that say, "I'm sorry." Black shirt that says, "So sorry."
Yep.
And they're actually bending the knee, but beyond that, there was a group of, it looked like a white family that actually tied nooses around their neck and bowed down before a group of black people. One guy, black fella, went up to a woman and asked her if she would bend a knee, and she did.
No, he was not just asking one woman. He was asking any woman, any white woman that would cross his path, will you kneel down and basically apologize for slavery and all of it? You're physically on your knees in front of me. And many of them did. And the ones that didn't, "Oh, you're a racist, you're a racist. Everybody look at this woman. She's a racist, she's a racist."
Yes.
And would chase them down the street. "She's a racist, she's a racist. She wouldn't bend her knee to me."
Yeah.
You see, this is a form of mind control. This is the sort of thing that Jim Jones would do. I also saw in one particular rally they were talking about where they had somebody up on stage and they were reading a pledge of sorts.
Oh yeah,
I
it's weird.
And you had to hold your hands up in the air and stuff.
And all these white people, but I got two more. Now,
and it's all based on guilt. Go ahead.
Yeah, that guy you're talking about was different than the guy I was talking about. There's more. And there was three white teenagers that were cleaning up federal buildings and removing spray paint and painting over. They were called racist because they were painting over the Black Lives Matter graffiti.
Right.
And vilified for cleaning up their town. I had to say that one, Chris, because when you started talking about the vilification of people that are against this movement or against what's going on, it is an outcry of hate, even if they're cleaning up a building.
I know. And this emotion is now pushing the envelope where it might not have otherwise done so. You saw the tweet by Drew Brees, where he had to back off of that, where he was simply saying, "I'm not going to disrespect the flag."
I knew he was going to apologize
you saw
for
where
that.
The Sacramento Kings announcer since 1988, he's worked with the Sacramento Kings.
He's a staple with that team.
He got a tweet from a player. "So what do you think about Black Lives Matter?" He said, "Well, I think all lives matter."
And he got fired.
And he got fired. It cost him his job.
Scary.
Right. And certainly Black Lives Matter. But certainly all lives matter. And if all lives don't matter, which ones don't matter?
Any final points on this issue?
No, but I tell you what, I do want to hit some of the jobs numbers because I think it also goes to the heart of the illusion, the lies that the left is talking about.
Okay. The job numbers, you want to do one more segment on that?
We better.
Okay, let's come back we said this was part 4 at the end. Let's do one part on the jobs numbers, and we'll be right back. We're broadcasting from the Appeals Law Group. That's appealslawgroup.com. And you can listen to the American Adversaries radio show Sunday through Friday and now on Saturday on the Buff Show. And you can visit americanadversaries.com for show information. We'll be back. This time we promise. Final segment, part 5. We'll see you soon and stay smart out there.